Alright, hey everybody, it's Lisa again with Vino Veritas. Today I have a nice Cabernet to share with everybody. This is called Vigilance. This is from the north coast of California, and they say that they are sustainably farmed with a convenient picture of dogs and sheep on the label in case you missed it. They go into great detail on the back. Well, not great detail, but they talk about the sheep and the dogs and why they're significant, which is interesting. So anyway, so this is a cab from the north coast of California, and it retails for about $14. You've probably noticed that a lot of wines that I try are in that price point. Because that's a very reliable price point for wine that is easy to drink. That $10 to $20 range, it's pretty easy to find stuff that fits into that and is good. So when you get under $10, it gets a little dicey, and over $20, if it's not good, I'm gonna want to get my money back. So anyway, so here's a cab. This is a very beautiful color. Very nice, deep red. You know, a little soft on the side, but that's okay. That smells really good. So I'm getting a lot of kind of dark berry, kind of like a currant flavor from this one. And wow, that is just a ruby red, deep color. It's beautiful. And almost there is a spice in there. It's almost like a little bit of pepper, maybe a little bit of cinnamon. And it's also a little on the earthy side, not too much. But yeah, it's for a Cabernet, this is a very easy drinking wine, not a lot of crazy tannins that make you go, you know. It's very Merlot-esque in the fact that it's very soft and kind of not trying to hit you over the head with a lot of flavor or a lot of things going on. So it's also not very complex. That's the con to that pro of being easy to drink. But it's a nice wine with some good flavor. I could see drinking this with a steak or like a stroganoff or something, you know, with a very flavorful sauce. But definitely a hearty meal and a hearty wine to drink. So I'm gonna get into this a little more, and then I'm gonna come back and tell y'all another true story. Okay, so I'm back. I've had some of this, and I hope y'all are ready for a story. Today's story is going to be about the school lunch. I grew up in a really small town, and so school lunch, I don't know. I never went anywhere, so I don't know if school lunch in other places was different. But where I went, it was not like a cafeteria where you got to go and choose your own food. It was a place where you went and there was a lady who punched your card, and then you went through the line and they gave you a little square, fairly colorless tray that had compartments for everything, and they just slopped something onto that, and that's what you ate. Or didn't eat, as the case may be. And it amazes me now as an adult that once a month my dad would give me a check for like $22, and I would give it to the school and they would give me that punch card, and that was good for the entire month. Because nowadays when I go to one lunch, it could be anywhere from $7 to $20, and that's crazy when I think about what a smoking deal that was for food that may or may not be edible. Basically, when I was a kid, the only choice that you got for your lunch was chocolate milk or regular milk. And even, I think skim milk was a choice also, but skim milk was disgusting because I'm pretty sure that they just cut it with water to make it less fatty. And that's gross. So, anyway, lunchtime as an elementary school kid was fraught with minds, shall we say. There, you never knew who was going to let you sit with them. I was a weird kid, believe it or not. And so I didn't have like the cool kid table, and it's a small town, so everybody knows you're weird. And I do remember lots of crazy lunches, but what I remember most during my 3rd grade to 5th grade years is that at one point they installed a traffic light in the cafeteria to monitor noise, because if there is one thing that you can frighten children with, it's that if you tell them that they are loud, they will die as soon as they get out into the real world, because they won't be there to protect them. Because teachers can be terrible in the name of trying to control children. But anyway, so they installed this traffic light, and if it was green, the noise level in the cafeteria was acceptable, and if it got louder, it would go to yellow, which was like me 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 me, like it would make this sound, which was kind of ear piercing, ironically, and so then if you got quiet, it would go back down to green. But if you didn't get quiet, it would go to red with this like very loud meh sound, and you had to be quiet for as long as that light was red, which felt like an eternity when I was 7, but in actuality it was probably like a minute. And if you were caught talking while the light was red, you got sent to the principal's office. And I don't know what happened in the principal's office. I'm guessing it was either spankings, because that was a thing back then, or it was, I don't know, maybe they tore your thumbnails out or something, or, what do I know, maybe they congratulated you on your, individuality and questioning of authority, but I seriously doubt it. I'm pretty sure it was one of the first 2. So anyway, that light was kind of the bane of my existence for 3 years. And I distinctly remember once when it turned red and I had taken a giant swig of milk as somebody said something funny, and then we all had to be quiet, and of course I couldn't hold it in, and it came shooting out my nose, which, as everyone knows, is a crowning achievement when you're in 3rd grade, and no one ever forgets that in a small town. And so that definitely doesn't help boost popularity rankings, and that was the case for me as well. But there was also a week where the traffic light malfunctioned, and I think that was a week where all of the teachers had to kind of ask themselves how far they were willing to go in the name of preserving order. Because what happened is the traffic light, every time it went to the yellow, the meep, 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 it didn't matter if we all got quiet, it wouldn't go back to green. It just automatically went to red. And so the teachers had to weigh the cost of keeping that traffic light as the highest authority on over a bunch of children, to keep us in line, and understanding that if we revolted against that traffic light, that would be it. Because if a traffic light can't control a bunch of children, what will? And the answer is nothing. Because the traffic light, it still amazes me to this day that people obey traffic lights in the way that they do. And conversely, it amazes me when people don't observe traffic lights and obey them, even when it's clear that there's no traffic coming, and they just like run the red light or turn left or whatever it is that they're not supposed to be doing. It still amazes me that they choose to disobey that light. traffic lights are very powerful, is what I'm trying to say. So that week, the teachers had to admit that the traffic light was malfunctioning, which we all knew. And so they had to unplug it, which was such a moment of jubilation for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of other kids, because we were no longer under the thumb of a random color that was dictated by some random noise level. And it was so freeing and wonderful. And the traffic light did return, but I feel like when it came back, we felt like we had some control over the situation because we had outsmarted that machine, and we knew that it was fallible, and so did the teachers. And so there was always an argument that it could be wrong, even if I got sent to the principal's office. And I still think about that to this day, that traffic light ever existed. And I hope that there are no children being terrorized by a noise-controlled traffic light. So, a moment of silence for them, but drink happy, drink often, and we'll see you next time.